Primetime with Isaac and Suke on ESPN Sports Radio 1080 The Fan.
All right, Big Suke, we met this young man
years ago.
It is many years ago. You were very young. This is Vincent Johnson, who grew up in Portland, and as a young guy on like the high school circuit, you won like 8,000 golf tournaments. Is that what I read?
Something like that, roughly, give or take.
And then went on to play golf at Oregon State, won a couple tournaments in college, and has been living the sports dream here the last 6 or 7 years, fighting and clawing to get onto the PGA Tour.
Which, by the way, is a meat grinder. If you want to talk about one of the toughest things to do in sports, get your PGA Tour card.
Right. And now he is entering, what'd you say, your 7th year of getting after this?
That's right.
And we wanted to have Vincent in. First of all, it's good to see you.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming back in. He's got a golf tournament coming up that we definitely want to help support because one thing that people may not know about fighting to get your PGA Tour card is how expensive it is. Why don't you go through some of the costs that you have incurred over the last 6 years trying to live the dream?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, when you talk about cost, if your typical tournament that you're flying to, it's going to cost you about $2,000 a week. And if I'm thinking of that, that's not even including a caddy. So some tours have caddies, it might be a shade over that. But just knowing every time you go on the road and compete, it's $2,000, and that's making, if you make money, that's great, but every time you go out, that's what it costs.
So what you're saying is a lot of people are losing money trying to make the PGA Tour.
Yeah, at least half the guys every week, and really, especially on the mini tours, you'll make a cut and you still won't cover your costs. So even though it's not getting hit in the head with such a big stick, but you're not getting ahead either.
Well, the window, though, has opened a little bit for you. It's cracked a little bit, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, some of you may remember Vincent Johnson, if you've been following golf here locally, getting the Charlie Sifford exemption and played in the what's the name of the tournament?
It was the Northern Trust Open, formerly the LA
right.
Open. Yeah.
Well, Charlie Sifford, who was the Jackie Robinson of golf, he was the first African American to play on the tour. He just died this week at 92, and I wondered, you met him, you got his exemption, a big deal for you. You were out there with the big boys. At what age? How old were you when that happened?
God, I was 23, I believe.
Man,
yeah.
What must have that been like?
Yeah, that was a unbelievable week. Still one of the best weeks I've had. Getting the call, I knew I was in the running to get the exemption, and I got a call from the CEO of Northern Trust, and asked if I'd like to play in the tournament. It was the most surreal phone call I've ever had. But it was great to get there and have that honor. I mean, that's one of the highest honors I could ever receive as an exemption in his name. But I had met him a couple years, or not a couple years, but as a junior golfer. He came to Portland and supported the Portland Youth Golf Association, which was a big impact on my life. And so he was really good friends with Robert Clark, who was the founder of that, and came and supported. So actually, I posted on social media, but I have a pretty cool picture of him and I when I won this tournament, and he autographed the picture. And when it came to him, it just, just like his book title, Just Let Me Play. I mean, he really just wanted to be a golfer and just show that, everyone should be able to play if they can play. And
what must he have went through too?
Yeah.
Out on tour.
Yeah.
With golf.
Well, you do talk about the deep-seated racism that we've had in this country and other sports, but especially when you talk about golf, which even today, look, it's come a long way, but you don't see a lot of African Americans out on the golf course.
No, I mean, and my own personal experience is actually kind of caught me off guard, but one tournament I Mondayed into, and there was a couple Monday qualifiers, and actually the guy that this happened with, he's on tour now. But we both Mondayed and went to the course where the tournament was at, and we both were heading in, and he walked straight in, and the guy asked if I was a caddy, and I was really thrown off, and I thought, I saw it was really upsetting, but I just with my own experience there, just realizing what he went through, where he's getting phone calls about people wanting to harm him in his life.
Right.
He shouldn't be there. I mean, I could only imagine still wanting to do it. And still having the self-control and reserve to not react, because if he did, he'd be gone too. So really incredible what pioneers have to go through.
Yeah, and to focus and play well.
Yeah,
with all that going on.
Yeah, yeah. One of his story. Real quick, I loved his story in Greensboro. So he's the first black golfer to play in the South on tour. And he went over there, drove across country, and debated on whether he should play. And he ended up going. And after day one, he got a phone call And this guy says, if you know any better, you won't show up the second day. And he says, well, my tee time's at 10:15, so you do what you need to do, but I'll be there. Yeah. And so, he stuck with it. But that next day, he had a whole gang of people out there harassing him, and he still played well, finished T4. So it was really incredible, just his perseverance and just being able to deal with that. I mean, I think a lot of people would be broken or just walk away.
Yeah. Charlie Sifford died this week, by the way, at the age of 92. So you got the exemption. You were younger. Now you've been grinding and grinding and grinding. I mean, it's such a grind, but we mentioned that the window has opened a little bit. I don't know how many people, even in golf, understand the qualifying procedures and all, Q school, and now they're switching it to the Canadian PGA Tour, which can help you get through. Just explain why the window has opened and why this year is so critical for you if you really want to get on the tour.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the fundraising event is going to allow me to qualify and play on PGA Tour Canada. And basically, that tour, it feeds into the web. And so they've made it to where these, you have these rungs on these tours. The web feeds into the PGA, the PGA Tour Canada feeds into the web. And you need to play these tours. And so at the end of the year, you have the money list. And if you're high enough, which you have to be really high on the Canadian Tour, which is top 5, but that goes straight into the web. But there's also some other perks if you play well. So it has a lot of players intrigued because it's kind of helps facilitate you getting to the next level. So
you have the passion. You've been fighting for this for a while. How much money do you need for a year to be able to at least have the opportunity to get your card?
Yeah, well, that I guess in short, it depends. But really, if you were going to give it an honest go, be able to play Web Q School, play the Canadian Tour, and be able to be a true professional golfer, which means cover your cost at home. That on the shy side, it'd be $60,000.
And we're not talking about you making a bunch of money here. This is just to cover your cost, to give yourself an opportunity.
Literally, if you played in all those events and you had your living costs, that's what it would be. And so it's those numbers are pretty. It's hard to do it that long. I've run into that to where what I'm playing in and how many events, it really is tailored to if you don't have that budget, right? Then tough luck and make another plan.
And you said some guys will be out there and lose money, but keep their card.
Yeah, I'd have to look back at the numbers, but basically I was trying to figure out, and the purses are increased this year, so that's really good. But basically, once you got kind of past top low 20s on the money list, that was kind of the break-even point. Well, I think top 60 it is, they keep their card. So you have basically 30 guys or more that keep their card and say, hey, you want to come back next year and do it again?
And lose money.
Lost money. And so, but the experience level and the opportunity is there. So, if you can have the support financially, it's necessary. But that's a tough reality to deal with.
Well, it's a big year for Vince. Like I said, this is going to be his 7th year going for this. Time's running out, and you got to raise that money. So this year you're putting together a golf tournament. It's Monday, March 9th. It's out at the Oregon Golf Club, and anybody listening or watching right now can get in on the fun, grab a fivesome, and your money all goes to Vince's. I guess your pot to go try to qualify for the tour. So tell people about the tournament and why they should participate.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we want to help you knock the rust off your game. Rain or shine, we're going to show up and go for it. It's March 9th at Oregon Golf Club. So we're hoping for some cooperation with the weather, but we've gotten a lot of support. My mentor and instructor and 2-time PGA Tour winner, Brian Henniger, he's going to be hosting a clinic, and then we're going to have 18 holes of golf. And we're going to have a dinner with an athlete Q&A afterwards. And so we also have Portland Trailblazer great Jerome Kersey, Portland Trailblazer broadcaster Mike Rice, Josh Wilcox, Cam Cleland, former NFL tight end, and Paul Lindman just committed to the event, and he's going to MC the dinner, which is great. And actually, we also have our very own Isaac Ropp joining.
Boom.
So
that's worth the price of admission.
That's right.
There.
Save the best for last.
I'm putting on an anti-clinic.
Just getting to hang out with Ropp.
I'm going to activate my glutes.
He's putting on a drinking clinic at the bar.
So my question is, how are we going to get him playing in this event? Because I think he's just going to show up for the clinic because of the work schedule.
We got to do the show. You talk to our boss when we get done from here. And tell him we want Monday, March 9th off to play in Vince's tournament and help raise the money.
Well, and we'll do it.
And we'll do it.
Second grade, I called in sick to school, and it worked out pretty well. So
Feeling under the weather.
Okay, so what is it per guy or per team? How much?
Yeah, so to play in the event, it's $200 per person, and that gives you the clinic, the round of golf at Oregon Golf Club, one of the prettiest courses in the Portland area, and the dinner with the athlete Q&A. For just the dinner, and there's a meet and greet right before it, it's $100. We're also looking for donations and for prizes. One thing that's really cool, Brad Simpson, my former teammate at Oregon State, he works for Nike Golf, and he just donated a signed flag from Rory McIlroy from the British Open.
Ooh, that'll get you some dough.
So that's pretty cool. And then donations as well. Every dollar helps. And anyone that wants to sponsor, that's available. And if they want to contact me, they can go to vincentjohnsongolf.com, and all the details I just said are there too.
And they can sign up for the tournament on that
right.
website?
That's right.
Okay, vincentjohnsongolf.com is the website. Again, it's Monday, March 9th at the Oregon Golf Club. We love supporting you. Hopefully we get some people who sign up and play in the tournament and get you the money you need, because we're pulling for you, man.
All right, well, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Vincent Johnson. Again, the website, vincentjohnsongolf.com. Participate in that tournament. If nothing else, like you said, the clinic and the dinner is going to be great. Monday, March 9th. All right, when we come back, we're going to tell you what Dusty and Chris Paul have in common.